And what a shot from Kirica, taking that off the ceiling, underneath the ball, and straight down the middle.
Oh, there it is, out of the blue!
2 seconds left on the clock and the Joker finds something out of nothing!
Now, that pass from Shadow was immaculate, playing it straight down center. Hecky just had to get a touch, and it's all he needed.
Sonic has a chance, it's an open net if he sees it. Looking for the shot downfield, goes into the corner, Kilogram! He gets the goal!
Look just in front of the net, Nuke barely keeps it out there and dies on the goal line. The long shot, it finds it through, it's Z gonna pick it up.
This is RSC Season 3. It feels like it's been in planning for months. That's because it has been in planning for months. And just like that, we get underway. The big banger stream of the season, Draft Day. We get to pick 270 odd players across 4 tiers by 10 franchises. I'm Greybeard, thrilled to be here, of course, as always. And joining me, relatively last minute, Alex De Fatek, all the way from Mauritius. Alex, how awesome for you to be here.
It's great, man. Thank you for having me. Such a last minute honor. And I just want to tell you, it's feeling quite windy here. That must be because it's draft day.
Oh, no. Okay, I gotta say, Alex warned us that he was gonna tell a really corny joke at the start. Alex, well done. 9 out of 10 for corniness. That's fabulous. All right, so this is it's a fairly simple stream. It's a relatively long stream. We've got a lot of players to get through. But right at the start, I want to thank a few people, because there are people working really hard in the background to make this happen. People like TheBromeo and Sfaulcon have put in many, many hours. Then we have a clever rabbit who is largely responsible for what you're about to see from a technical perspective. And then, of course, Alex here beside me, looking after a bunch of videos and audio video stuff, so thank you very much for that. Creative Ones doing a lot of graphic design. Lankai, who's done this awesome animated background you see behind us. Unguarded Ace, working hard with the applications, the hundreds of players signing up. And then Friday and Mutz out of Europe, working on the many, many spreadsheets that drive RSC. And then for Season 3, special mention right out the gate for our sponsors. First of all, we have our highest ever prize pool, 18,000 Rand from Nexa. That is up by 20% over Season 2. And then pushing the buttons, looking after our broadcast this season is Genisus Extreme. And I can't tell you how thrilled I am with them, because my big sweat last season were the broadcast of the game and having to stream and cast. Not my forte to be pushing buttons and streaming. Okay, so the thanks out of the way. Let's talk about how this is going to work. Essentially, we take it by tier, starting with prospect, ending with master. There's the entire pool for each tier. Right now, all the GMs, AGMs are in a Discord call with Sfaulcon, and they are doing last-minute negotiations, deciding on their first, second picks. And as they pick, we will see it happen live on stream. Now, Alex, another part of the production you've been involved in has been interviews with GMs and AGMs from all of our franchises. And you got to see them. I love doing the interviews. It gave me a great sense of the people involved in the franchises. You edited them. I don't know if you devoted any time to actually listening to what was said.
No, it's quite insightful to see how each franchise is tackling this problematic of picking their players, of keeping a vibe going on in their respective franchises, of trying to like bolster their audience. They're trying really hard this season. Like for me, the season 1 was like we made this big push towards having a thing that was experimental in the end of the day, and season 2 was like trying to keep the hype train going. But this season, looking at how the audience, how the player base is centralizing around this community, you can really feel like this is crystallizing. It's important, and we care, and we want it.
It is meaningful and important. So throughout the course of the stream, we will be showing those short little videos to introduce each of the franchises and at least one person behind all of them. And I think let's get things kicked off right here, right now. Let's take a look at third-time RSC franchise, Bro.
My nickname is NaVeDs. I represent the bro community. So my pick strategy in 3 words would be calculated, chill, and concise. This season, the franchise that I'm most scared of would be the Order of Okes, because they challenge our vibe level. Bro, it is the GOAT for SSA Rocket League. This is RSC. This is a place for new players to come up and coming players to hone their skills. On top of it all, you get to interact with all these people from different walks of life that have all types of interests, but a common respect for the game. You know, I feel that RSC fosters a community of working together toward a common goal, and it just gives you something to talk about and engage with your friends and like meet new people.
NaVeDs out of Bro, thank you very much. Great little introduction to Bro there. And Alex, you got a bit of history with Bro.
Yes, I'm part of the administration crew of Bro, and I just want to make a slight correction. It's NaVeDs from now on.
NaVeDs?
NaVeDs, NaVeDs. He shall forever be known as NaVeDs. We're keeping this on the books. This is his name forever.
It's been changed.
Yeah, the Bro has a very big contest at the moment. I've noticed while looking at all the videos that the gems and AGMs have posted that everyone kind of brought their name back into the most dangerous franchise. They are definitely in everyone's eyesights at the moment. They are the team to beat.
All right. Well, let's get into it. So before you see a screen, and quite simply, so you'll see Critical Force will be selecting the first player. This is round 1. Pick one for Critical Force. At the bottom of that center screen, you see the current franchise picking, which is Critical Force, and they have picked the first player to get picked is Coconut with a C&V of 1210.
What a really strong pick, actually. Like Coconut has proven himself in the tryouts. Is definitely worth his CMV, and a delight to play around. Actually, a good teammate altogether.
And the crawler at the bottom of the screen, that's the pool. Those are the available players. Look at that! Alex Defatic out the gate. We were talking off stream. We were talking about how Alex got picked deep into round 4 or something. And now here he is. I mean, you were the golden princess last season, finishing second in just about everything.
Yes, I take the silver medal very, very happily again. And DSFK takes the third pick for Ford Templar. I feel the theme going there. I feel like everybody's going for their lead players, the 1200 mark for prospect, where the team will be built around those guys.
Now, Kai's a player I recall. I've definitely spawned in and in games with him as an opponent and a teammate. A name I'm familiar with. I can't give you details on him. And then, playing from a franchise manager last season, Silver, getting picked now by Shadow Esports at 1160.
And winner of the finals.
Indeed. Also. Indeed. So
Okes did a perfect run in the playoffs. They didn't drop a game for the entire playoffs of their prospect, which was kind of insane.
Sure. Yash, is that a player you're familiar with? A name that seems familiar, but I have no deets.
High flyer, definitely, and a good teammate to have a good vibe around him in terms of support. Definitely someone you want to go play some twos with. A good vibe.
All right, next up, Redirect with their first pick. This is round 1, pick number 6. And then coming up next is Bro. So they will be picking in slot 7. And I don't know how much horse trading has happened in the background. I know, we had the marble races to determine the order of the picks, but I know a lot of negotiations happen in the background to sort of like, okay, I'll trade your first round pick with my round 3 pick. And Berserker, a name also familiar from earlier seasons of RSC, being selected by Redirect.
I'm not very familiar with his with him. But Bro definitely had an early pick for Prospect. Now they moved all the way in the middle of the board. As you know, it's good to be at the beginning and the end, so you get a double pick as well.
Pixel Glitch, 1230, being picked up by Bro community.
A very hotly contested player as well. He's been around the tryouts, and I've heard a lot of noise about him being picked early as well.
Clerks. Is it Clerks or Clerks? I'm going with the Afrikaans Clerks, being picked by Dynasty.
Clerks. I'm going to pass on the pronunciation. I don't want to put the whole community behind me there. There's a lot of players in South Africa, as we know. Order of Okes. I've set up a battle station that we've seen pictures of, and they're picking creatives first.
Our graphics chap.
That's a very interesting pick because BeerMasjien, Bromeo, Hannibal are the 3 Order of Okes admins, and they are Bro admins as well, and they are picking creatives who also is an admin of Bro. So I think they got like a little plan going on there.
Now, Chadster, I played in several games with Chadster earlier today, so getting picked, last pick in round 1. We've now moved into round 2, and the order snake. So the team picking last in the last round picks first in this round, and they have picked up at Atomic KBM, I think it was.
Atomic Bomb.
Atomic Bomb! Or KBM, okay. Atomic Bomb, that makes a lot. BeerMasjien. Now, he's a keeper pick because he's the GM of Order of Oak, so he can't be picked by another franchise. So, of course, he is going to be in the Order of Oaks.
But wouldn't that be a better strategy to pick the players you can't have early on and keep those keeper picks for the end? Like, I'm a bit surprised to see a keeper pick so early. Jake the Snakes, aka Agravales.
A great place, a great meat. Dynasty pick him up, and you'll see the names at the bottom as you on the crawl. So as they are picked, you'll see they go gray, so you know that they've been picked. So any highlighted names are in the pool that are still to be picked in the prospect tier.
Elementrix, to me, a dark horse of a player to be watched in this prospect tier. I've seen him play. He's very consistent, very good rotations, and he takes his game seriously.
All right, picked up by Bro, and then Jake's the Snake, a name I definitely remember from last season. Him getting picked up by Redirect.
Oh, and I get to see my next teammate in UnitOx.
Alex DeFatak will be playing in Season 3 of RSC with anybody in production got a drum roll? No, Matthew. Matthew, not just Matthew 3293.
3293. And Silver's teammate in Shadow is going to appear soon. Shadow's been running a lot of tryouts for this season. I think they are the team that has organized the most tryouts, just like in terms of sheer quantity. They had like 3 runs for each tier, I think. And Sixpenny Sunset, funny enough, Sixpenny Sunset was a finalist in season 1, joining Silver finalists of season 2. So they're actually picking amongst royalty from the prospect tiers of past seasons.
Prospect royalty, and then Pap. Oh, Z-Pap. That's a name new to me.
Papi is actually very, very technical flyer. I think he was in the finals in season 1, if I remember correctly. It could be him or Papito. I might be confused between the two Papis.
I think Papito's going by Papatino right now or something. So I think that's the other puppy being picked up by Fort Templar. Slowpokes. Well, there's a name that's been in and around, being picked up by XP Esports at bang on 1200 CMV.
And Critical Force going with Coconut and I don't see a lot of lower ranked players. Like I feel like a lot of AVN, very good pick. He'll probably be pairing up very nicely with Coconut. They both will be playing good rotations. I guess that's what they're focusing on. And they'll be accompanied by Bruv as well. So altogether, Game Sense team just being formed right there. I don't see a lot of low CMV picks. Like everyone's in the 1200s at the moment. I think we're rushing for those leaders still.
No. It's the scramble. Everyone's trying to get the best piece. All right, Frenchie 14, 990, just under 1,000 there. Oh, I missed that. Who was picked up by Critical Force?
Critical Force might as well have been a keeper pick. Actually, the Frenchie is a big part of the culture of the franchise, and he's definitely a player that's rising to learn with the others.
Unguarded Ace. Well, there's a dude who's working very hard in the background, very involved in the community, getting picked. I missed. Who did he get picked up by? I missed that.
It was by XP Esports actually.
XP Esports. Okay,
joining
good.
Yash. Yeah.
Fort Templar gonna pick Misty Dragon.
There's a player to be watched. Like there's a dark horse for you. Misty Dragon's
he's a dark
very
dragon
skilled for his price.
Shadow Esports pick number 3, joining the Gato Mew. Well, there we go. Well known in the streaming community, the Rocket League community. So he gets to hang out with Shadow, being GM'd by SparkyCracked.
The new UnitOX getting ready to do their next pick. It seems to be very well spread out. Like as you see those names come out, you realize how much quality there is in those prospect games. Because Bali Marshad again coming back, all of those are players that have made their mark, and all of those are players that are worth the time at the level that they're playing.
Did we miss one? Who did UnitOX just pick?
Bali Marshad was my teammate in season 2 playoffs. He didn't make the finals with us, unfortunately. Maybe the reason why we lost.
And then Weaver 2104 got picked up by Redirect, and now we roll around again to the bro community pick. Pick number 3 is Aragorn San.
The only senior I have in this in this tier. The Pappy, but making crazy progress in his gameplay for the level he represents.
The high frequency being picked up by Dynasty. 995 CMV. Not a name I recognize. I don't know if this is his first RSC.
He's definitely been training with the other prospect players in and around. I think he was in a free agent placement last season, if I remember correctly. If he's not, sorry, dude.
No, that's all good. Coolio ZA being picked by Order of Okes, 1035 CMV.
BeerMasjien Creatives, that's an interesting pick, 1035. Definitely someone they must have investigated in a tryout separately, because not a player recognized, and those guys, Order of Okes, I should be able to recognize the names that they pick, because we kind of know the same people. But Kulidza, I don't know him, and it seems very interesting because we have to see who.
I said Coolio. Is that a D or is that a D?
I think it's a D. It's a D.
It's a D. Coolid. Okay, fine. And then last pick in round 3 is by DSQ Esports. And after round 3, we're gonna go and we're gonna go to another franchise video as soon as DSQ have picked their 3rd player in round 3. And I believe in Prospect, there are 57 players to pick from in Prospect. So we are in and around halfway through the Prospect pick.
That's taking a bit of time. There are players there's still good players to pick from.
Changing minds. Like, oh, we want no, not him. Not him.
The last pick, guys, it matters. Bromeo is still on the table, but he's going to order of Okes.
There we go. Creven is the last pick in round 3. Pick number 30 for DSQ Esports. And while we get round 4 prepped and locked in and loaded up, let's go and meet Critical Force.
My name is Bruv, and I am representing Critical Force this season. Starting this new sort of franchise and this new sort of gaming organization, and what better place to start with the fastest growing Rocket League community competition than RSC Season 3. Planned chaos, vendettas. Dynasty looks like a fierce to be reckoned with, but you can't doubt the bro community with the all experience that they have. My expectations are I'm going to learn a lot. I'm going to make a lot of mistakes. I'm going to burn a lot of bridges probably within the process. But we're going to have a lot of fun and yeah, make the players never forget the season.
And there we go. Hello, Bruv. Bruv of Critical Force. Critical Force's first foray into RSC. So welcome aboard, Critical Force. Great to have you. And now we move on to round 4 and pick number 31. DSQ picking last in round 3 means, of course, they get to pick first in round 4. And they will be joining, this pick will be joining Chadster, Creven, and Atom Bomb.
Atomic Bomb.
Atomic Bomb. Oh,
I like to scream Atomic Boom every time I demo him. It's kind of fun. I see.
I'm sure he enjoys it.
Atomic Bomb is quite low CMV for the rest of the team. There's 2 1200s. They still have to bolster the bottom of their roster. They still have to find players to give themselves options to make the points work. So I'm not sure with Chadster and Creven to be in the same team would be ideal, because that would be a lot of points burnt very quickly. So they still have to pick someone that allows them to build options around their players.
All right, well, we're coming now to the bottom half with about 27 players left in the pool. So it does mean there won't be a complete round 6, because obviously you can only pick as far as there are players. And I think we're just sorting out getting the draft day pick system back up and running, and we will get going. So Alex, I've got to second out the gate. You've got to be feeling pretty good about yourself with that. Even though off stream you were like, yeah, I was picked like in the 4th round last time, and I don't really care. Still got to make you feel pretty good getting picked second.
Actually, you know what? I'll go deep down personal right now. Like I'll tell you something. Bruv, just like in his video, claiming like we're gonna burn bridges and there'll be vendettas and whatnot. I saw their first pick coming. I thought maybe I'd get a shot at this team. Maybe he'd pick me, but like.
Okay, I think. I was just hearing from production in my ear that Bro got picked for DSQ, but that is he not a keeper thing? I'm not sure. We'll get some clarity on that, but we are on pick number 32. This is Order of Okes, who pick up Alleged Drill. Alleged Drill, not a complete drill, an alleged drill.
Allegedly picked him as well.
And then Dynasty picking next in round 4. They will be looking to join.
Muzz, is this that's Ginger Muzz, right?
It is, and I'm trying to think if this Muzz is this his first? Is this his first RSC? Did he play last season? I can't recall.
I don't remember. Definitely his chance to make an impact. And I was going to say, so far, like the picks are mostly the players that have been showing up at tryouts. If you want to be known, if you want to get picked early by a team, if you want to be part of the team's plan in the first place, it's a great strategy to show up to as many tryouts as you want. So to those players that are still left on the pool, a lot of them have skipped the tryouts and are trying to just show themselves up with the numbers.
All right, well, a Chronic in the meantime picked up by Bro, and then moving on to Redirect Esports. Dark Adept at 1080 CMV being picked up number 4 for Redirect. And then XP Esports joining Yash, SLOWPOKES, and Unguarded Ace will be... Oh, that was too much. Oh, there we go. Black Cat. Black Cat Peanut Butter. You know Black Cat, Alex?
I do not know this name. I do not know him. I think it might be because his name is not the same on Discord and in game. So it might be one of those that, because now instead of learning 55 names, we have to learn 110.
That's a lot. That's a lot. All right, Sixpenny Sunset, Silver, and the Gatto Mew will be joined by Bogdan Gab with 950 CMV, 4th pick for Shadow Esports.
And the first pick that's not RSC royalty.
Oh, there you go. Snipes ZA joining Fort Templar, joining Kai, Papi, and Misty Dragon, the dark horse according to Alex.
So the names are getting a little bit more obscure, obviously. We're getting into that round 4. And but that's where the RSC kind of shines. Ibn Venter is a player that we've seen around in the tryouts. However, he's I know he's been training quite consistently lately, and he's a good pick. He's strong and solid. But you're gonna see those names pop out now, that the players that haven't necessarily been putting themselves out there.
And then, of course, the keeper pick for Critical Force, Bruv, who we just saw on camera a moment ago. Of course, joining Critical Force, he will be playing for his franchise as required by the rules. Swifty Rocks, picked up by... Oh, that's another keeper pick for Critical Force.
Yep. Bruv and Swifty, GM and AGM. They did not pick a third admin, so it's only 2 of them.
Okay.
So I'm going to see my... Oh, I just realized Bani Marshad is also coming back as one of my teammates with UnitOx, which is great. We had a great run last season, and I know he's in better condition now to play than he was before, so that's going to be a good a push. And drum roll for UnitOx.
UnitOx.
It's stretching
pick number 42, round 5. Round 5, our second to last round in the prospect tier. Tox. Is it Tox?
Tox. I toxed it.
It sounds like Tox said by Sean Connery. Tox. Tox. Toxic said by Sean Connery. Tox. Crunchy Turtle. What a name. 1100. So obviously there's, I mean, the one factor we haven't really touched on, Alex, is that this is also balancing budget. You do have a limit. You can't just pick all the high CMV people. So Crunchy Turtle getting picked up by Fort Templar, good one for them.
And Shadow Esports taking their keeper pick, Samuel Horsfield, which I'm not very familiar with.
Probably out of EU. I feel like that's an EU name.
And XP going afterwards. They still have to take the keepers with XP Sports, but no, sorry, the keepers are in the other tiers, if I remember correctly. They're picking Iron Man instead.
You have to say the full name. Iron Man 44145.
I don't know which suit we're talking about exactly, but it was definitely in the later movies.
Razor. Now, I know a couple of Razors. I don't think that's the Razor I'm thinking of, though, but getting picked up by Redirect, their 5th pick. And then Bro Community with pick number 5 to join Pixel Glitch, Elementrix, Aragon Soren, and a Chronic is Noble Chernobyl.
I've heard that name before, but I can't just... I really can't remember where. I think I've heard his name in your voice. Presently, so he might have been into one of the casts for season 2. Dogman was a player I was watching very carefully. He made immense progress in the last 3 months, and his rotations are on point. And he's a young player as well. He's probably the youngest player we have from sort of living around the bro community, and he's definitely going to make an impact this season.
Max 5, I'm assuming it's 5, or Max V, being picked up by the Order of Okes. Max V, Max 5, their 5th pick. Moving on to DSQ Esports, joining Chadster, Creven, TheBromeo, and Atomic Bomb, AJ at 1130. So also a late pick for a pretty high CMV player.
TheBromeo got picked by...
Yeah, I saw that by
Esports.
DSQ. Something's a bit dwanky there. We'll get that sorted out.
Yeah,
But that wasn't quite correct.
Kirica.
DSQ select
Demonics.
Donald. Demonics, you never walk alone. Okay, long name. Demonics or Donald getting picked up by DSQ, their number 6 pick. Moving on to the Order of Okes. We're in the last round of picking for the prospect tier. You were supposed to fill that spot, Alex.
I'm just looking at their list. I'm very surprised because we're missing Hannibal, we're missing TheBromeo, and BeerMasjien, which all of them should be prospects. So I'm a bit genuinely confused
in already. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the only one in the administrative team that's still. So there's 2 other players that they should have been trying for keepers. Dynasty now picking Divine. Which is a 1200 player at this stage is kind of surprising.
I'm trying to see now, looking at the names at the bottom, they're all grayed out. I mean, there's only 3 players left. Axio. All right, but either way, getting picked by Bro. And we're coming down now to, I think, our last couple of players in the prospect tier. And redirect will take, is it Vian van Rooyen?
Van Rooyen. V Rooyen. I've played with this person. Chances are he could be related to Mauritius. I've seen him on the right pings and the right times for him to be around my home country, which is quite rare because, like, as you know, I'm the 2nd best player here, which is a statement of how we don't have players here. Rakil would be the last pick of this tier for XP Esports.
No, there's one more pick. I think this is the last one coming up. Pick number 57, Josh ZA, a very high CMV being snapped up very late in the game by Shadow.
Yeah, and those high level players also cost a lot to the team, so sometimes they are the people that get put into the back of the drawer, as I know very well.
All right, well, that brings us to the end. All 57 players have now been picked out of the prospect tier, which means we're going to be moving on up to the rival tier. But before we do, let's go ahead and meet for Templar.
Dynasty.
My bad. Yeah, you know what? Because I don't know my alphabet. So production's going, what? Because, of course, before 4 Templar would be Dynasty. So let's go and meet Dynasty.
My name is A Clever Rabbit, and I'm representing Dynasty. I am the general manager. It's the biggest community-run league in sub-Saharan Africa. We've got so many brilliantly talented people behind the scenes that I've worked personally with in previous seasons, and everyone's always fired up. We've always got banter going. It's just viewed as an expression of the game of Rocket League in our region. It's unique, so meticulous, historical. To wrap it all up, I guess, wildcard. I have my own personal way of determining how I rate a player. Probably Bro. I mean, they're headed by Kirica again. If I had to pick one, I'd have to say Rival. Rival's gonna put a big smile on my face.
And we are back now with our next tier up. Prospect done and dusted. 57 players selected. Another 58 to go in this tier. And now there is some news, Alex, in that I have signed up as a player for the first time ever in RSC. Not just in RSC, it's the first time I've signed up for anything competitive in Rocket League, and I'm more than a little nervous. And I think this is going to be my tier, so I'm a little tense.
Well, you know, having followed your content with care, I know that this is a culmination also of 1 year of retraining that you've been doing, that you started a year ago.
And it's gone terribly.
All eyes on you. No pressure. All eyes on you. We want to know how far this training got you and how far you're going to take this. But
wonderful,
definitely...
Alex. Do you know what? This feels like revenge for me constantly calling you out at being picked in the 4th round last season. Thanks for that. I appreciate that. Okay, round 1, pick 1 in the rival tier. XP Esports gets to go first, and they have picked Mr. Green. Solid player.
Do
you know Mr. Green?
Yeah, and another familiar of the bro community.
Yeah.
He's one of those rotational players. He's quiet. He likes to take the ball scientifically. He's definitely yes. And that comes from the batch of players that kind of center around Akropovic. Great player to pick forward of Okes.
All I remember about him, top demoer last season.
It will be a hard comeback though, because he had to give up the game for 2 months, so it will be a hard battle. It's Stubbsy picked by DSQ. That's another very, very interesting pick, like a very contested player that people will want on their team. He's been doing a lot of damage in the last season.
For Templar, picking up Jezza Reza, a frequent teammate, a twos teammate of mine. Very good player. Very good to see him picked up there by Fort Templar.
Yeah. Definitely team leader quality. He's always kind of like take the captainship of his team. Flash, also a great captain of took DSQ in the playoffs last season, being picked up by Critical Force, which is amazing for Bruv. Redirect about to do their pick.
Wrecked! Redirect Esports picked up Wrecked, 1445 CMV. Solid pick for them. Pick number 7 in round 1. COLORCOLD. Now that is a keeper pick, and what a solid individual in the community.
Yes. The only player that got named into the GM interviews as a threat to their contest.
And then Complex, another player I'm very familiar with, been in and around. We've teamed up, we've played against each other, and Complex being picked up by Dynasty. Very, very good first round pick for Dynasty.
Yeah, there's a lot of those game sense rotational players. VZA?
No, it's Wavy. Now I've run into him. We've had a little bit of. He doesn't like me too much. A couple of times we've been teamed up, and he's like wanted a forfeit and given me a lot of stick in the quick chat. So Wavy, I see you. And then Domino being picked up by UnitOx.
Yeah, also a very, very mechanical player out there. And one that's done a bit of damage last season. Those players that we see getting picked up, like Stolzy, Akropovic, COLORCOLD, all these are from, I dare to say, the school of ZA that has come out of the bro community. Those guys are very accurate. And you asked me earlier about what's a scientific Rocket League, like I said. But that's basically those players that take so much time learning game sense properly and focusing on rotation. Nice Panda. Interesting pick for XP Esports.
Nice Panda, as opposed to a not nice Panda. Now I ran into him in a game the other day, and he was so excited about RSC starting. So there you go, nice Panda. You have been selected. Sebastian, another name that's been around, a prominent person in the community. Sebastian picked up by Dynasty.
And RSC royalty as well. He won with the bros last season, if I remember right, in Rivals. Mr. Crane being picked up with COLORCOLD. Deadly combination. I've seen them play together. Redirect Esports get wrecked, and now
Dutch.
They get Dutch.
Well, there we go. There's a name we all know. Dutch getting picked up by Redirect. Well done to them.
Their team stream has been secured. I wish him the best of luck. Like Dutch is a solid player, and he takes his training very seriously.
Papito, well, there he is. We were a bit confused between Papi and Papito, but there's Papito, also very involved with Cosmico Esport, getting picked up by Critical Force. Very good pickup, and another player that's been grinding, making a real effort to improve.
Yes, he was in Prospect last season. That's his graduation.
Hey, Beard!
There you go.
Picked up by Fort Templar, joining my teammate Jezza Reza. How awesome is that? Well, there we go. Okay. Well, it wasn't deep in round 4. Late in round 2, I will take that.
that was a very good position to be picked in. Round 2 is, like they took the edge off with a player that they wanted, and now they're taking the cream that they've been looking at. So there you go. You deserve your pick.
And then DSQ pick up Ender. Ender is a high school ACGL high school champion, winning at LAN just about 3 or 4 weeks ago. So solid pick for DSQ.
Definitely a dark horse to watch. And he's also graduating from Prospect Season 1 for sure. I don't know if he was in Rival Season 2 or if he was still in Prospect last season.
Okay. And then joining Akrapovic in order of Okes will be
Nanachi.
Nanachi. So Nachi with the stutter. Nanachi, 1255 CMV for Order of Okes.
Yeah, Akrapovic is returning hot, but he had a bit of a spell of two months, I think, where he wasn't playing. So he's kind of getting back into his game.
Okay.
And it would be very interesting to see him take Nanachi. He was like a very careful, a very focused player. Like he's always consistent, and Akrapovic, as you know, he's dangerous on the field, so that would be a good pick. Cherry 1309 from Reunion Island, if I remember right.
The only thing missing there is his CMV should have been 1309. That would have been a wonderful little bit of serendipity, but not to be. But that's the end of round 2. We move into round 3. Bro get to pick their third player. Joining COLORCOLD and Mr. Crane is Fancy Lizard.
And was it a double pick for Bros? Because no, round 3 leading in round 2 leading into round 3, you go back the other way.
Yes, that's correct.
Am I getting confused? Okay. So there was a double pick.
There was probably some backroom dealing, maybe.
Okay.
No Maiden. Also, I think out of Reunion, I'm not sure. I know the player played with and against this player, but not sure. Huh?
It's great to see players come from places, because obviously South Africa is a big part of the SSA
Yes.
Rocket League, but attracting players from Madagascar, from Nigeria, from Mauritius, from Reunion Island. iFly Aware is a Reunion Island player. He's made his marks with Bijou Esports, getting picked up by DSQ right now. So it's great that the community kind of expands the Rocket League that we play. We get to understand each other more in our servers.
Vanda Panda, the one of many pandas in RSC. Vanda Panda joining me in Fort Templar.
And Flash and Papito is a good combination. Papito is a very mechanical player, very up there, and Flash is good at giving the ball to his teammates. Joining Vino, who's graduated from was in Rivals last season, but I don't think he made such a big dent into the playoffs. It would be a good match with Flash. I know his play style. I've played with him season 1. Vino is going to be excellent with Flash and Papito for Creevy, now getting picked up by UnitOx.
Say that again. Did you say Creevy? What?
Creevy was picked up by UnitOx
Creevy.
just now. Yeah.
Do you know Creevy?
Yes.
Okay.
He's a bit of a personality around. He's got I think players that are funny tend to be really good at Rocket League for some reason.
I can tell you right now that is not true, because I'm hilarious, but I'm terrible at Rocket League. Durability getting picked up there. Which franchise is that? That's the one logo I can never get into my head.
Esports. The combination of X and P, so that's how you see the heart.
Oh my word! I see it now. Durability picked up by XP, and then Stacy Jacks picked up by Dynasty. I'm really enjoying this tier because these are so many of the players I have teamed up with or played against. It's fabulous to see them all.
Yeah, and in many ways, Rivals for me might be the most interesting tier because Elite and Masters are players that are used to tournaments and they kind of hover around each other. Like we see them play a lot. And Prospects, you know, they're still trying to get their marks into the game. But Rivals is where like you see those players that kind of like get it and they start crystallizing their skills and they try to like get into a more important level of their Rocket League journey. So it is a very interesting tier because you see a lot of mentals clash and a lot of players find themselves. This
All
is
right.
the last pick.
So Gids getting picked up by Shadow, last pick, and then now last pick in round 3, Redirect Esports. Look, Mom Scope, another player I've seen, another player that it has gotten a little tense, but getting picked up here by Redirect. All right, so that brings us to the end of round 3 in the rival tier, which means we get to see our next video and moving along alphabetically. After a false start, this time round we get to meet my franchise, Fort Templar.
My name is Mal and I am representing Fort Templar. We figured, why not have a look at SSA, try our hand in it and see what happens. Bro's a scary franchise because they've got good picks. In terms of which franchise would I fear just in general, it's got to be UnitOx because if we lose to UnitOx, then VuDu's never going to let me live it down. Expectation-wise, I think the franchise, we're hoping at least for a top 4 finish. Personally, I go into every season just hoping for a good time and meeting new people, but I think we're all looking to have a good time, meet some good people, and hopefully perform well.
In terms of expectations, Mel, a good time, I can guarantee a top 4 finish to be decided. And Alex, bro, getting called out a few times as a franchise to fear.
They definitely made their mark. As you know, the main power is community, bringing people together. So they have made their marks individually, but what's making them really special this season is the fact that they've integrated Kirica, who's obviously made every single award possible in RSC with Valkyrie Knights, and you can feel through the other GMs and AGMs that they know who she is, they know what she's capable of, and they know that she's going to make their players matter. And that combined with the bro community kind of like creates a synergy that's very dangerous.
Yeah, she's definitely got a very well-proven record in RSC, in SSA, and in EU. So, first pick was by UnitOx in round 4, and that was Karma, who, as I understand, is a reunion player. And then Shadow picking up Killer 999, and now Dynasty picking up Ike.
I see a complex and I didn't read the list of teammates that Ike has, but Ike is a solid pick. Even at this late stage, I was surprised to see him being pixelate.
Nerfquake getting picked up by the bro community to join COLORCOLD, Mr. Crane, and Fancy Lizard.
Which is interesting. Nerfquake has a reputation in the bro community for coming in and out of the server like it's a hotel. So now he has to stay for at least 2 months. I saw you, Nerfquake.
All right, and then Chaos got picked up by Redirect. And we move on now to Critical Force with their round 4 pick. And I was checking, there are 58 players in the rival tier. Clucker, definitely a player I'm uncomfortable meeting in a game.
Flash, Pepito, Vino, and now Clucker. I think Critical Force got a very solid pick for rivals. Like the synergy there is going to definitely matter. And your teammate next is going to join you, Jeza.
Groot Vos. I think I'm very happy with that pick. I love how I'm talking about how I'm going to be out there. I'm going to be, well, fortunately there's rules. I'm forced to be in at least a few of the games. So
But hey, you know, there's also preseason, which is also a very hard battle for the players out there. Remember, guys, especially those that are not familiar with how it works, preseason is critical moment for you to show your skills and to stay in the team and to make yourself mark. Free agent is a thing. Don't worry, you still have a place to play in RSC afterwards.
Everybody has a place.
Yeah. But it
Big
matters.
Ben Kahuna getting picked up by DSQ, their round 4 pick.
In order of Okes, BeerMasjien making his pick for No Maiden, Akropovic, and Anashi is very interesting combination. But I don't feel like I see a top of the rival mechanical player. Like Akropovic is capable. I'm being silly. He is a very dangerous player everywhere he goes. But it's important to keep balance. It's important to have a player that can organize the game, a player that can be a danger in the air, a player that knows how to defend properly. It's important to find those players everywhere.
All right, and Snappy getting picked up by the round 4 pick for Order of Okes, and hopefully they're happy with Snappy. And then the keeper pick for XP Esports, AAOKY, and I did ask him, and originally when he made that name, it was supposed to be AAOKY, but no one can say that, so we all just go with AAOKY.
I've been saying that since the beginning, and then I heard someone else say AAOKY, and I tried to switch. It was a bit late. Sora.
Sora. Also, I think I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Sora's a reunion player.
Yes,
Either
that or Madagascar. Definitely a French-speaking player.
Okay, well, then let me say it differently. I often say reunion based on ping. Whenever I see that sort of 40 to 70 ping, I'm like, oh, it must be reunion. But of course, there's Mauritius, there's Madagascar. So, yeah, good. Oh, Gingerbeard. Oh, no, I'm so sad. Gingerbeard's been picked up for Order of Okes. I so badly wanted to be a teammate of Gingerbeard. Gingerbeard goes back a long, long way in the community. He's in Order of Okes. Good for great to see him involved in RSC.
Mazek 97, because you're teaching me to say the numbers when I see them. It's picked up by DSQ. Round 5 picks still for Fort Templar. Ace. I seen this name around, but I must confess I'm not familiar with this. I
don't know if Ace if Ace is the same as Ace Warren, because that's a player I've played with and against a number of times. I don't know if they're the same person. If it's Ace Warren, I'm familiar with. Ace, I'm not sure, but my teammate. Welcome aboard, Ace.
And Ranak, my compatriot from Mauritius, being picked up by Critical Force. Where was it?
Yeah, Critical Force.
Very interesting.
Yo, Wormy picked up by Redirect. 1455, solid player. Haven't played against him a lot, but I do recall being a competent player out on the pitch.
He's a dangerous player. He's made his grand champ for the first time in 1v1. Ooh. Definitely.
In 1v1s?
Yeah, insane. Season 2 grand champ.
How's he in my tier?
He's learned 1v1s first, and then he moved on to 2v2s and 3v3s.
That's amazing. Sponge Dog being picked up by XP Sport. And then joining Complex, Sebastian, Ike, and Stacy Jax for Dynasty. In round 5 will be Alex Drums. Badang, Tink picked up by Dynasty.
Tink. That's not how I thought the drum roll was. Not many players left, eh? Like,
well, we're on pick 49. So there's 10 more. There should be 10 or 11 more players left to pick in Rival. Dan the Pogman. 1405 picked up by Shadow.
Okay, 1405, quite high still in the Rivals. So some of those players that are costly are now getting taken off the pool. NaVeDs. NaVeDs, the keeper pick for Bro, of course.
Bro, keeper pick for Bro. NaVeDs. Okay, we're on the final round now for Rival. UnitOx get to pick first in this final round.
Joining Karma and Stolzy, Sora Krivi. Karma and Stolzy, definitely players that are preparing for this RSC and going to try to make an impact. Getting joined by E. Letter E.
Just E. That's got a E. Not a player I'm familiar with. Mutschuk, keeper pick for Shadow. He's been running Shadow Esports for a few years now. Out of EU, now in SSA for second. No, I think they've been in every season of RSC and SSA so far.
Shadow Esports, yes, they have played every season, and great contribution to the community. They've been there from the beginning. XP Sports now has got who's the AGMs for XP Sports besides AAOKY's the GM.
I'm not sure the rest. I just thought we missed Iwukami for Dynasty picked up, and now
my apologies.
Kovas for XP Esports, but I'm not sure. You're putting me on the spot. I don't know who the AGM is for XP. Razor. So we have Razor, and then there's a Riser as well. So
I think you said that in prospect earlier. Amiu getting picked so late is kind of crazy. He's definitely a player to be watched from Reunion Island with the proud 974 at the end of his name.
Is he from Reunion?
You say this, but like half the names have ZA and the other half have 974. And in Mauritius, I don't know what to do to represent Mauritius. Nobody recognizes anything. They don't even know our flag. So
there he is. You were asking about Hannibal. There he is. Keeper pick for DSQ. Hannibal in Rival. And also we were Fort Templar, my other teammate, Okinos. I think it's Okinos for Fort Templar. And then the final pick, DSQ is a keeper pick. Hannibal, also a stalwart of the bro community. And there we have it. And just like that, we come to the end of the Rival tier. We are halfway through draft day. And a couple of things are now going to happen. First is Alex, we're going to be saying goodbye to you. And once again, thank you very much for coming in last minute and allowing yourself to be pressed into duty to be a co-host for the first two tiers of draft day.
It has been my absolute honor, and I must say it makes sense that I leave now because my area of expertise between prospect and rival kind of is stretched as far as I can go. There's other players, other casters that know those elite and masters much better than I, and because if I stayed, all I would be doing is like, they're so amazing. They're great players, all of them, and they all beyond my reach. Have a good time. I'll be in the chat and I'll be watching, and thank you so much for having me. This is so exciting.
It's
wait for this to start.
Absolutely, it's going to be a banger season. And to say goodbye, we're going to play our next video. We're going to meet our next franchise, a franchise that are prioritizing vibes above all. Let's meet the Order of Okes.
My name is Bill, better known as BeerMasjien, and I am the GM of Order of Okes. We only need one word, and that's vibe. We just want to have like a chemistry in there. You know what? I don't fear any of the franchises because we are Okes, we are Boots, we go the hardest. So all of these other O's really need to like watch out for us. If you're talking in terms of competitiveness, a top 3 spot would look absolutely amazing. In terms of our goal, is just that to come out every single tier, every single team comes out and just be like, yo, that was a lucky season. I want to sign up next season.
And that was BeerMasjien. And I was so pleased that we got his interview. I messaged him and said, I want to do this interview. And then I quickly messaged TheBromeo and said, don't let BeerMasjien palm off this interview on you, which of course he immediately tried, but we got him in. So great work from Order of Okes. And as you will see, right over here is no longer Alex Defatic, but another doyen, a stalwart. A man who's been involved in the Rocket League scene since there were about 12 of them. And that is Werty. How's it, Werty? Thanks for coming in.
Anytime. It's been a great evening. I was checking you guys talk about the first 2 tiers, and I'm keen to get the last 2 on the way.
Well, we'll be getting to your tier in the not too distant future. You, of course, being in Master. So that's where we're going to need a lot of your insight, and hopefully you know a lot of the players there. But just before we get kicked off, a reminder that we have outstanding support for RSC in Season 3 for what is promising to be the best season ever. Our prize pool sponsor, Nexa, 18,000 Rand in the prize pool, 20% higher than last season, and then taking care of our production, including this very production tonight, Genisus Extreme. They are big in the iRacing community and moving over to Rocket League, bringing all their broadcast experience to RSC, and we are enormously grateful to have them. All right, so let's get going. Werty, you've just taken your seat. You've seen a little bit. You're familiar with how this all works. So, round one, pick one. Bro, get to go first. Everything's gone green because we are in Elite. And, Werty, there are 54 players to choose from in the Elite tier.
This is a nice little tier, in my opinion. I think this is the guys that you kind of look towards to see who's going to start taking over the reins. All the guys who are starting to push up a little bit with some solid skill sets and hopefully some names that I haven't heard of. Because I know a lot of guys around this ELO, but new names are good to see because, you know, it promotes all of that good competitiveness that we want.
All right, well, first pick is Mercury. Is that a name you're familiar with?
That is not, so that's a good sign.
Well, there we go. Picked out the gate by the bro community. Mercury, I think it was a 1580 CMV, so pretty solid pick there. Well, there we go. Terrible for Dynasty, also known as Czar. I believe that's the same person, if I'm not mistaken, but very, very good player and very involved in coaching in the bro Discord.
Always nice to see people who are, you know, not just playing the game, but imparting elsewhere. And that's a very solid pick for Dynasty to have, as DSQ have the next one. Wonder who they're going to end up with, who they're deciding for their first pick.
Okay, you say that name.
I really hoped you would have taken that one off of me, I'm going to be honest.
Do you know what?
Frosee.
Frosee makes the most sense to me. I'm happy with Frosee. So DSQ picking up Frosee. Their first pick in round one. Pick number 3, and then we move on. UnitOx. Pick number 4, MXZA. And definitely a name I'm familiar with, but not intimately. I definitely... I feel like I should know MX.
I feel like if we don't know them now, we will know them when the games start. Hopefully they make a good name for themselves in these tournaments, hey?
I just had a quick look over in chat, and Ender says that it's Freezy. FRZY is Freezy. How did you not know that? You're in university, Werty. You should have known that. But in the meantime, the truth, the Waarheid has been picked up by Shadow Esports.
It's a goeie pick, hè? Die waarheid is it's a very honest pick coming in from Shadow. They know exactly what they're doing with that start. And Chase coming on next for Templar.
Now, Chase been around a long time. I mean, been involved in Rocket League at the very least since I became quite familiar with the community. Doesn't play a lot of Rocket League these days, taking his photography seriously, but I'm very pleased to see him. And in my franchise, for Templar. So welcome aboard, Chase. And then redirect, picking up Ethan. I don't know if you know that name, but I feel like it's a player... you know, there are many players that I know that pass me by on their way up, and Ethan feels like one of those.
You're just doing the charity work, you know, giving them the experience.
I'm just waving them on, waving them on and encouraging them, and we
just motivation.
So Lemons, you must know Lemons. Lemons been around, a huge vibe picked up now by Critical Force.
Lemons is a name I'm familiar with. Interesting to see what the teams are built around off of these first picks, as Joker is next on Order of Okes at 1505 CMV.
Now the Joker got featured in our bumper, the video that we started the stream with. He was sort of clipped there. Did very well. I can't remember how deep he placed last season, but very good player, an excellent pick for the Order of Okes.
I feel like it's as we have teachers next. Teach.
Teachs? Someone in chat's going to let us know. Is it teachers?
We're going to have a great time. Everything we do wrong is going to be corrected in a millisecond. This is what Twitch is for.
Daniel joining MX. I'm assuming it's not the Daniel we saw at the Esports World Cup today, but maybe emulating the style of that Daniel.
I mean, that Daniel wasn't even... I'm not too sure if he's playing, no? So maybe he's
he was.
On his
He
own.
was.
Oh, okay. I thought Nash was the sub, if I'm not mistaken, but...
No. He was beast mode, subbing for beast mode.
Beast mode, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, UnitOX coming up.
Look at me talking like I know what's going on in the world
so
of Rocket
proud
League.
of you,
I know, right? I'm proud of myself. Oh, you know what? One of my, I don't know if you got to chat with Noto down at the LAN in Cape Town, Werty, but 14 years old, GC2, just the cutest. I want him to go far. What a pick for Order of Okes. Proud to see him there.
Honestly, it was very, very nice meeting him and seeing the prospects that we have, even though this is elite. But yes, as Buna is taken up by Bro. I'm not too sure what his CMV was, but that is also another solid pick for Bro.
Quaster, definitely a player. And I feel like me and Quaster were on the same level at some point, but he's like taken a step or two above me.
I think it's time to take a break on the casting, you know? Just grind out some 2s and 3s. Get back up, you know?
That's why I'm here. I have never been cast before. That's my big ambition for RSC Season 3. And then joining me in Fort Templar, sponsor Bubusz, who was the runner-up, coming second to Paul Roos at the LAN for the high school champions just a few weeks ago.
That was a very nice final to watch as well. I was very impressed with the little high schools. As the next pick for Critical Force is Hard Flame.
I know nothing of Hard Flame. Maybe someone in chat can fill us in, but not sure there. Snack Packs. Okay, definitely a name I know. Snack Packs getting picked up by XP Esports, and then now joining Freezy. Freezy is how we say that name.
Yes,
Freezy.
we've learned we're making up for our wrongs, and DSQ will get the pick of Genie. So we have Genie and Freezy coming together on this core of this team.
All right, and I see Hard Flame is in chat. Oh, well, there we go. He's got the perfect answer. I said I don't know too much about him. He says you're going to know soon. Well, there you go. That's
like
the attitude. I love it. And then Genie being picked up by GSQ. Is that the same as Genie K? It must be. And I know his team in VS beat Olympics team and Olympic 5BS. They had a fantastic result in VS. So they're going to be feeling pretty good. And then a clever rabbit who has written the web app that is driving the draft day that we see here. So he's a keeper pick for Dynasty. Oh, we missed one. It was Sonic. I missed that now. It
Sonic
was right at the end.
in the redirect, yes. I did
Sonic.
see that. I've actually played a community tournament, a bro community tournament at that, against him. It was very nice. I'm keen to see how much these guys improve and what they can show in normal 3s. As Bro take Little Moose in round 3, pick 21.
Lil Moose, met him live and in person in Cape Town earlier this year. Also a vibe, so very solid pick. Also very involved in coaching in the school scene, so good to see him there. And then Lolly, the very enthusiastic caster, does a lot of work for Cosmico, being picked up by Redirect Esports.
Now DSQ looking for their 3rd round pick. There's still a lot of really solid players in this pool, and the fact that it's such a close CMV rating between them all, as they take B.
Oh, well, we had E. We had E in Rival, and now we got a B in Elite. So there we go. Let's see if we can work our way through the entire alphabet. I think that's probably Bumblebee, who was known as Bumblebee and has slowly dwindled his name down to a B, being picked up by DSQ.
Delu going for XP at 1485. Let's see how... Yes. Carry on.
Is Delo the same as Delusional? I'm not sure if they're the same person, because Delo I feel like I haven't seen for ages, and then I was in a game the other day with Delusional, and I don't know if they're the same person or not. But either way, he's been picked up by XP, and then Lonely J in Shadow.
Let's hope his Rocket League isn't too delusional, but I have.
I'm pretty sure it's not the first time he's heard that.
Splashy coming in for Templar at 15-15. That is a name I'm familiar with.
Okay.
Who's joining Dynasty, hey? Terrible, Clever Rabbit. What is their third pick to round it out? It'll be Tim Tam. Tim Tam. Okay, that's a very
Tim Tam, I'm pretty sure. Is Tim Tam reunionese? I kind of get that feeling. I might be wrong, though. I kind of... no, I'm not sure. But very, very solid pick.
I actually do think that this is a very nice, evened out third picks by everyone. As Critical Force take Delanor?
Delanor.
Seven Delan. That's the one we'll go with. Yes.
Seven Delan? What?
no, Delanor.
Okay. All right, that picked up by Critical Force. And now Order of Okes, their round 3 pick, the second last pick in round 3. Wrath. Now, Wrath is... He's definitely from one of the islands. I don't know. I can't remember if it's Reunion, Madagascar, or Mauritius. I think it's Reunion, but great pick.
Last pick for round 3. We will get UnitOx taking RL Dan at 15-20.
Very, very good pick. All right, there we go. We are through the first 3 rounds of the elite tier. So we're now going to meet our next franchise, which is DSQ.
It's the biggest grassroots league in SSA, and I want to be a part of that. Bro, they know the scene, they know the players, they've got a great management team under them. I think definitely our first round master pick. We've got a third pick for that tier, and I think our options are really good there. I'd like to build on what Tavish and Nations did last season. They made a top 2 in every tier but elite, and that tier they made a top 4 as well. So I'd like to build on that and take a few titles home.
Great to see Flosee. He's a youngster, as you saw, but very enthusiastic and really, really wanting to be a part of the community and help build it, grow it, and do things in it. So lovely to see him in the assistant GM role for DSQ. Nicely done in the interview. And no, and you know what? It's that sort of thing that makes me very happy, Werty, as a very community-minded person.
The Deadly Dom kicking us off in round 4 at pick 31 for Shadow Esports. You know, as you say that, I was actually very impressed with how many young guys are interested in the admin and tournament organizing and community work of all of it. I'm very impressed. It's not just, I want to play the game, that's all I care about. They actually have a really good interest in all the little things.
Order of Okes picking up Baker. Definitely a very, very good player. Solid pick. And Order of Okes building a very threatening roster over the last 2 tiers. So very good for them. And then Bro Community picking up Rezka. Now, Rezka, I don't know. I don't know if that's a name you're familiar with, Werty.
Not too sure about it. I feel like I've seen the name somewhere. So let's see if he can emphasize that in his RL coming into the tournament. Dynasty will take away Silent Toe.
Nah, come on. I thought you had it, Werty. Silent Oscar.
My bad. On me. I will take that one wholeheartedly. What can I say?
Silent Oscar getting picked up by Dynasty. Now, I think I have an advantage there as a caster. As a caster, I've learned to decode a lot of the weirdness. You were talking about young people being involved in the community. Chip, same franchise as me, getting picked up by Fort Templar, involved with Six Mans, and anybody involved knowing Six Mans knows that that's a tough job to do. Also does edits for videos for me, for Rocket Dreamers. So good to see him involved despite his busy life. And then that Raise or Razor picked up by Redirect. Another person I'm familiar with. We've teamed up. I met him down at the LAN in Cape Town. And good to see him continuing to be involved in the community.
Always nice to see, you know, when the casters, all the guys behind the scenes also get a chance to just play some good Rocket League. As XP take... Okay, Greybeard, please help me.
Come on, that's easy.
Swifty?
Close. Swayze picked up by XP Esports.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how you get an A from a 7. That's a new one to me, but I will.
You know what? You're asking too many questions. Oh no, it's Swerve. SparkyCracked says it's Swerve. Never mind. I went with Swayze. That's what I've always called him. I'm wrong. So there I'm trying to sound like I'm a buff, but it's actually Swerve. Okay. How is that Swerve? Never mind. We're moving on. Flosee is a keeper pick for DSQ as the assistant GM. And then Hecky Gaming, you'll meet him soon enough. He's a keeper pick for a UnitOx out of Europe playing in SSA RSC.
Critical Force will round out their pick as well. Currently got Lemons, Hardflame, and Delano with Arts. Hope he's as creative on the pitch. That's a bad pun, but...
Do you know what? It's as good as it gets. Arts gets picked up by Critical Force. And then first round pick in round 5 is the keeper pick, Kirica. And Kirica is amazing. My only disappointment with Kirica is that I could never talk her into casting. It was never something she wanted to do, and I would love to have seen her be a caster. But she, as an admin for a team, as a player, as a coach, as just a solid member of the community, picked up is in Bro. And then Redirect picking up Jumbo.
If I'm not mistaken, the keeper picks, Greybeard, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but they are from the org, or one of the many orgs or franchises that are in RSC, so they have to be in their respective franchise.
Correct. They can't. You can't be a general manager or assistant general manager and play for another franchise. You're locked to the franchise you're managing, so that makes sense. So then Zambai, oh my word. I'm just going to go with Zambai. Zambai picked up by DSQ. That's too long for me. I'll go with the first third of that name.
Zambai is a sport, if I'm not mistaken.
Zambai is a sport. Oh, well done. Well decoded. I like it. And then is it Spiro or Sphero being picked up by XP Esports? Joining Tim Tam, Silent Oscar, Clever Rabbit, and Terrible.
This is a very nice roster coming together with Terrible, Rabbit, Oscar. Yeah, TCM then also going along to Dynasty, as we will have 4 Templar up next with Chase, SpongeBob. These are really good teams. I'm actually very keen to watch these games when they eventually get cast by our very amazing Greybeard. Acid Kirby.
Acid Kirby, I don't know. Do you know Acid?
I'm not familiar. No.
Not familiar. Okay. Well, as with all the others, we'll get to know Acid Kirby soon enough.
H. Oh, we're going down it. Let's go.
1600 UnitOx. So we got an E, we got a B, can I get an H? Can I get a G?
We only need about 20 more people to name themselves similarly, and we're gone. We're good for the rest of the season. And Critical Force will pick up Marnus 0976, going along with Hardflame, Lemons, and Order of Oaks now. Spaker, Norton. This is a very good team as well. I'm so keen. I think Order of Oaks may edge out everybody. But that's all on paper, of course, as Borsfell will be there.
Borsfell is a name I'm familiar with, but don't know too much about him as a player.
Shadow. Let's see what's up. This is the 50th pick. Kalamatin?
Kalamatin, I think that, and look at that. It's all English letters from the English alphabet. Like, how old school?
No, come on, we need a good old underscore in there somewhere.
Yeah. And a number thrown in for good measure. So, who was that pick? Oh, that must have been Shadow picking up Kalamatin. And then round 6. Not too many picks in round 6 because there's only 54 players. But,
EO4, MCC. Coming on for Shadow then, to round off their picks. Order of Oaks. That looks like a bit of an error code, but I respect the name completely. Order of...
yeah. Okay, I liked what you said. We'll go with that. Pick number 52. Just 3 players left 1K. Well, there we go. That is proper simple. 1,000 picked up by Order of Okes.
I feel like the CMV picking now is going to be a bit Vinci coming in for critical force at 1620.
And then Velocity Neonics saying Calamitin is him. So there we go. I know Velocity Neonics. I didn't know Calamitin. And then Sfaulcon for Dynasty. Assistant GM. He is a keeper pick. And another doyen of the Rocket League community. Goes all the way back to Atomic as a manager what feels like decades ago.
Don't say that. I was here before these people, okay?
All right. Well, just like that, do you know what? The first season of RSC, Werty, we did draft day literally from a spreadsheet that was screen shared onto the stream. It was absolute. I think we would all cringe with embarrassment if we were to see it now. But man, this production is running really smooth. So we are now through 3 of the 4 tiers for RSC Season 3. That wraps up Elite, which means just one more to go, which are the Masters, the Master tier. And just before we get into Master, let's go and meet Shadow.
Hello, my name is SparkyCracked and I am representing Shadow Esports. The dedication, the passion, and skill. The franchise I personally fear the most right now is Critical Force. I mean, it's in their name. They just sound like they have a force behind them. I find that RSC is a really good space for all players of skills just to find those friends, those connections, and just introduce themselves to the competitive scene. That's why I think RSC is really good. My expectations going into the season is to take first spot for Shadow on at least 3 of the tiers, so hopefully we can do that.
Man, oh man, SparkyCracked, another one worthy of those people in the community, rising stars in the community. You know, you have rising stars on the pitch who are going to, you know, you just feel they're going to go pro, players like maybe Monoto, and then just solid people who are going to help build this, and SparkyCracked is one of those, and it's such a pleasure to have him.
It's great to see all the initiative that everybody's taking as well. It's so nice to see, because it's, as somebody who used to play Rocket League when there was nothing to play for, now having some support and people actually worrying about you, trying to get things in order is such a nice feeling. It makes your ability to focus on just playing the game just so much more. It enhances it really. It's so good.
And remember, it's always a small percentage of any player base that rise to the top professional levels. So if we want to have among the best in the world, we need a massive player base that is helped and managed by people like Sparky and Yoshi and Chip and Flosee and all the others to help grow it so that the top can rise and be superstars. But speaking of superstars, we come to the top tier of the Rocket Soccer Confederation, RSC Season 3 Master Tier. Werty, this is you. This is your wheelhouse. This is your home.
Now, see, now this is where I come into my own element, as my teammate is taken away first in Eli to redirect, and I am second pick to Order of Okes. Pleasure to be here, boys. I will be as best as I can. DSQ gonna take the third pick, and there's a lot of really good players that are in this this Master Tier for RSC. Lack is gonna be the one instantly taken away. It makes sense. He's proved his own when it comes to threes.
And very pleased to see him here because he's retired from sort of top-level competitive. So very thrilled that he's still involved in a part of the community. So, man, oh man, these franchises firing the guns early, picking up the cream of the crop. Bigfoot getting picked up by Critical Force. Excellent player.
That is a steal, actually, for him to come through that early. I was thinking of how quality Bigfoot was, but the fact that he's a first pick means a lot, and that's good to see, because he is a very solid player, very well-rounded. And yeah, Fort Templar will take us away next, taking away Daps at 1960 CMV.
Plays for Cosmico Esports alongside Declan. So, in my franchise, welcome aboard, Daps. Good to have you. And then moving along to Shadow Esports, getting pick number 6 in round 1. Kexi, out of, I don't know how well you know Kexi, out of the UK, but a huge fan and supporter of SSA Rocket League. And we're grateful to have him. One of many EU people who actually have a interest in growing this region. So good to see him picked up by an EU roster in Shadow Esports.
It's like I think I've played about a couple of scrims with him. We did play quite a few games there. He's a great guy, big fan. Nitro being picked up to UnitOx. Nice.
Now Nitro to me a bit of an underrated player. He surprised me in the back end, like the last split of RLCS, and I'm hoping to see great things from him. So good to see him in the mix. And then Zany, one of our young players, 16 years old, really grinding, really wants to do well at Rocket League. So picked up by the bro community.
These are really, really nice picks. It's a mix of all the old guys, you know, I'll give it to myself and Eli, and a lot of really solid threes players. I think with a little bit of work, they can be very, very good. And hopefully this is one of the tournaments that lets them build on experience in a tournament, in a good 3 setting. But these are solid picks that you can build your team around. As Banana Cat is going to be picked up next by XP. Another very good pick. And Dynasty going to steal away my old teammate in Happy Meal at 17.
Well, listen, people like you and Happy Meal and all these guys who've been around, you've all been teammates at one time or another. It's kind of when the community was really small, everybody teamed with everybody at some point.
Yeah, that is very, very true. Is Gold Ninja going to be taken away again at 1800? I think, if I'm not mistaken, I had the longest standing partnership with a teammate in Happy Meal. Because it was about 2.5 years, yeah. And that got overtaken by Justin and Garrett G, and then Snowy and Tadifo.
Okay.
So,
well, Gold Ninja is a part of Fish, or is it Bird? Sorry, they were Fish and now they're Bird. With Joshy and oh my word, yeah, I've gone blank on who the third in there is there. And Dukla's now getting picked up by XP. Sorry, we didn't really mention Banana Cat earlier. You mentioned him, but I just want to say he's a player that's come out of high school Rocket League, so a high school champion. And if I'm not mistaken, made SSL just in the last couple of days. So well done to him.
That's a solid achievement. Let's see that. Another thing that I look for in a good player is not how you end up in terms of elo. It's how well you can translate that into team settings and threes. Because you could be a great player. It's really hard to play threes at a very high level. So I'm keen to see what he can do. As if he gets taken away.
And then Critical Force with Friction, another top player. Zeph, and that was the teammate of Gold Ninja with Bird. So there we go. My brain fart has been repaired. And then Casper, also been around a very long time. Currently with White Rabbit Gaming, picked up in RSC by Shadow Esports.
For Templar going to take us away on the next pick. Casper also, somebody who's been along for a very long time. Potato with a gun, getting yoinked by Fort Templar. So he will be worth... Sorry, I missed out. Who was the first pick for FT?
It was Daps.
Daps, okay. It's a good call.
And Potato with a Gun has been always one of the players... My top 3 favorite names in the SSA region. Potato with a Gun, Jerome in the Bath, of course, being another one of those. Bro community picking up Nuke. Unsurprising... with Kirica involved with Bro, picking up Nuke there.
You like this? We need to look into that for ISU reasons.
I'm just making a note for later inquiries. Jeff, now who did Jeff play for? Because I know Jeff is... Oh my word, my old brain is struggling. But I mean, top player is Jeff.
A very, very solid player indeed. As I'm just trying to figure out here, because I'm also looking at the tier list, trying to figure out, who we want to look at, what we want, etc. Which players are left, because necessarily CMV is something that a lot of these orgs have to keep in mind, yes.
Werty, your teammate is Ravi. Ravi is 13 years old. and has the potential to go far. So I expect you to take him under your wing and guide him in the right direction. And another player, Ravi and Devour, are mates. They are friends. Devour is also 13 years old, getting picked up by Order of Okes, and also with the potential to go the distance.
So they had to put the young blood with the pensioner. I love it. I'm going to teach him as much as I can. It'll be a whole lot of fun playing with him. I'd love to see what he's all about.
Listen, suddenly you've arrived with the title of mentor, and you'll ask yourself the question, how on earth did that happen? And it happened by being involved long enough and being good enough for long enough that your opinion and guidance matters. Redirect picking up Quickzy, first pick in round 1 for Redirect, and then Order of Okes, second picked Willant, another young player out of Reunion Island. I think he's 15. Beat Snowy in a 1v1 tournament not too long ago, which, to be fair, he was as surprised as everybody else. But man, that was a solid performance.
No, he plays a good brand of Rocket League. One of the Reunion players that I believe VuDu actually put me onto as well. He was very happy with how he played. As Happy gonna be taken away next, but not too sure.
He calls himself Happy now because he was known as Happy for a long time. I think he just got tired of being mixed up with Happy Meal, so he gave a little twist on his name there.
Scraffy, another player I'm well impressed by of recent note, especially seeing him in ranked now and then. Getting yoinked by Redirect Esports. Jerome moment. Next
and
one.
Been very active in chat is Jerome. So here he is, picked in Master.
Now these are going to be some fun teams to play against. That's what I'm most happy about, not going to lie. But Stingray coming in at 1635. A name I'm not familiar with. Not too sure if that is an SA or an EU name. I'm
not familiar at all. But when I saw it first, my first thought was Raygun, and it kind of confused me a little bit with the Australian breakdancer. Stingray is EU. It's been confirmed in chat. Technic Eagle. I think 2021 high school champion was Technic Eagle. And now still very active in the community, picked up by UnitOx, and because he did play with Unity for a long time, so VuDu will be very familiar with Technic.
It's a very, very solid pick to see. As Tweaks is the one next, getting taken away by Bro Community. Going to be playing with Zany and Nuke. It's a very nice balanced team as well, coming in from Bro.
Banana Cat Duklas in XP Esports being joined in round 3 by Rahu. I'm just out the gate gonna say that must be an EU player because that's a name I do not know.
I'm gonna assume that too. That is very new to me.
All right, so that is round 3 done. So we're halfway through the master picks, and we have 2 more franchise videos to introduce the franchises and the people in it. We were just talking about VuDu and UnitOx, so let's go and meet the franchise UnitOx.
My name is Hecky and I represent UnitOx. Our picking strategy would be lots of tryouts. The franchise we fear the most this season is the Bro Community, because COLORCOLD is amazing with what he does, so we're threatened by him a lot. Personally, I'm looking forward to the round of Elite because that's my tier, so I get to pick my team basically, bring the franchise over to RSC SSA. Our expectations this season is that we hope to bring every single one of our rosters into playoffs and maybe get a couple of wins in the process as well.
Alrighty, and there we have Hecky from UnitOx, and Werty, not for the first time. We mentioned it earlier. Bro getting called out a lot as they've built a good reputation for themselves. A lot of the other franchises concerned about what they might be doing.
That is true. I think that to their best of their knowledge, they want to make a team as rounded as possible, but you won't know until the 3 people are in a Discord together trying to play Rocket League. So it'll be a nice test.
All right, well, Olympic has been picked up along with Happy Meal for Dynasty, and then now somebody help us with that name. I can't figure it out. MVRCXNZ.
We're gonna need a bit of assistance on that one.
Someone in chat come bail us out here. I was talking earlier about how I've learned to decode names as a caster. I'm hopelessly lost there. Mavericks, there we go, or Mavericans. Okay, Mavericks, fair enough. And then Yoshi, another solid member of our community, doing a lot of things in the background, a streamer, helped me a lot in my Discord and with a lot of things that I needed help with, getting picked up by XP Esports.
Yoshi is somebody who I also am familiar with, as he pumped into my streams back in a long time ago when I used to actually stream the game. Max being taken out by Redirect as well.
Max also, I think Max, I met Max, I think he was 14, he might be 16 now, I'm not sure, but long grinder of the game. Teammate of Scraffy, who we saw being picked earlier, so good to see him picked up by Critical Force. And then is it, now this one I don't know, I've played against this guy, I don't know if it's Clippy?
Clipsy, perhaps? Clipsy.
Someone in chat help us out as always, please, as we look at Peanuts Jig. That's got to be EU. Peanuts Jig being picked up by Shadow Esports.
Doesn't sound like a very born and bred in South Africa name, but we may be wrong. I'm not sure that we are though. Dre 786 going to be along with Daps, Potato with a Gun, and Jerome at Fort Templar. You have a strong team there for your franchise, eh?
Oh no, listen, we're gonna bomb it this season. We're gonna be bomb's the wrong word. Whatever the right word is for do very, very well. So Dre. I wanted to go back. Someone in chat saying that Clipsy is Eclipsy, which makes no sense because there's no E there, but fine, I'll go with Eclipsy. And then Blade, also former high school player, currently plays for the University of Stellenbosch, and now picked up by the bro community.
As we come back to Order of Okes.
Well, don't forget Naish. Picked up by DSQ.
Naish also a European player, if I'm not mistaken, at around 2.1k in CMV, as we shall see what is going on here. With
Order of Okes, big debates going on in the.
There's some big chats. That's all I can say.
Some smoky back room.
The numbers are being crunched. Everything's happening right now. Right now, it's myself, Willent, and Raviara. Honestly, I'm very keen to
Teacher.
See what these boys have, and Teacher as well. Teacher has also been playing for quite a long time.
Very long time. High school player for Unity, and so also a player with some experience. So Werty, you get to share the load as you teach the youngsters Rocket League. You can share the load with Teacher, and then Breezy being picked up by Redirect. Did a little filmed interview with him down at the LAN in Cape Town, which will be posted in the next week or two. Also very, very solid player.
No, I mean it's nice to see also that we have these. Oh, sorry. Before I carry on, Redirect gonna take away Serenity as well in this massive lineup with Eli, Gold Ninja. That's a very nice run of players that they have to choose from there. But yeah, it's great that we have these local tournaments where we get to see all these players that we don't necessarily always meet at LAN events, etc. So yeah, always good to see, always fun.
All right, Order of Okes picking again. TG, I feel like I know that name, but I don't know. TG, do you know TG?
Not necessarily. No, I don't think I do.
All right, well, TG joining you in Order of Okes. If anybody in chat can spill some information on who or what TG is.
I feel like I'll learn very soon when I'm sitting in a Discord call with him. As D-Money being taken next by...
The money!
UnitOx, Tweaks, Zany, Blade, Nuke. This is also a very good team by Bro. It's really nice. I feel like everybody's gotten a very solid Masters tier team. That it'll just come down to how well everybody plays on the day.
Man, it looks to me Masters is going to be a huge sweat fest.
As it always is.
And pretty cool that the Master tier had the highest number of players, 62 players in the Master tier. So there'll be 6 and a tiny bit of rounds of picking in the master tier. Armored SA. So I'm assuming not EU, with the SA at the end being picked up by Bro. But I don't know Armored SA.
I'm not too sure as well, but is that actually a South African pick?
I don't know. I'm assuming because of the SA, but I might be wrong there.
As Bites, but getting taken away by Shadow Esports. LDC also for Templar, before we forget that one. Also,
LDC, that's coach out of the Netherlands.
Indeed.
Playing in SSA, so that's good to see. Another European making a lot of effort to help grow the SSA scene. So good to see him there. Bites picked up by Shadow, and then Arid, another name that's been around for a while, picked up by DSQ.
Rounds off Naish, Jeff, and not too sure who the others were. But again, that's a very, very nice, well-rounded roster. As Critical Force with the 48th pick of the 5th round.
As SparkyCracked says, a franchise to fear. It's in their name. They must have a force behind them.
I like that. That's a very good motto right there. Dwarf Butt. I had to say that. That was just too funny to pass off.
Very interesting. And definitely an EU player is Dwarf Butt.
Indeed. XP Esports now. Bananacan, Douglas, Rahu, and Yoishi.
Violet.
Rounds it off with Violet. Are you familiar with Violet, Greybeard?
It's ringing a bell, and I don't know. I don't know if I know that player. I feel like I should know them, but I'm not 100% sure. Could be EU. Lamuk! Now, there's a name I haven't seen in a while. I don't know if you know Lamuk. Lamuk and Amuk. They are brothers who play Rocket League. They, to me, have been a little bit absent. I haven't really seen them around. So good to see him in Master getting picked up by, I missed that. Who? It must have been picked up by Dynasty. It was, because Dynasty are now picking again. Last in the last round, first in this round, and they've picked up Skeleton Pig.
I always had one regret in RL, is that I never got to compete with my brother. I feel like if you have the opportunity to do that, it would be absolutely great. That's something that, I don't know, it's such a great feeling to be able to compete together.
Did your brother play Rocket League?
He did. He was actually better than me for a very long time, and then went to university. So sadly, the dream died. But,
real life. What is his name? Or what is his name?
He went under Use, something Use, Samurai Use. But yeah, it was great.
Okay,
I played about 2 tournaments with him. Never again. But
fair enough. And then Tally being picked up by XP Esports. Round 6. So we're coming to the end. This is pick number 53 now of 62. So we are rapidly coming to the end of draft day.
And now we need to round off those picks and see what we can do for these rosters. Yoda being taken by Critical Force. As UnitOx will take Absolotl. SA.
Absolotl. Okay, we'll go with Absolotl.
Shadow Esports now on their 55th pick. Peanuts, Stingray, Casper, Kexi. You will have Ayar. Ayar. We will go with Ayar.
Ayar. Yeah, AR makes a lot of sense. Picked up by Shadow Esports. Pick number 55, and now pick number 56. We're coming to the back end of round 6. Roof. I don't know that name. Must be EU, right? Are we going with EU? Roof sounds like a proper English name, actually. Roof. For some reason, I get that vibe and feeling.
Karen getting taken away by Bro Community as their 6th round pick. DSQ now. What are your predictions for this Master Tier franchise? Graveyard, who do you think was going to take it? Who do you think has a good mix?
Nukesy picked up by DSQ, one of our coming to the end there. Right now, I'm going to say for Templar because that's my franchise. But I have a feeling I'm going to be traded out. I can just see shenanigans, and I don't know. So whichever one I land up in.
You're merely the bargaining token now. Is that what's happening?
All right, and then Fax Zen. So Zen but Fax. Joining the Order of Okes. But I think it's... Listen, I think with whatever franchise you're in, Eli's in, Daps is in, I mean, these... any of those, just so stacked. But what I love about this is it's hard to just predict on the face of it because it has to be balanced. You can't play all the expensive players per game. You gotta have some sort of lower CMV players. So it does balance it out there, which is very good. And then did we miss the Quixie? Did we mention Quixie? I feel like we didn't. He was the 7th pick for Redirect, and then now Redirect picking up Hyzex.
And the final pick is Pukis. Okay, well, there you have it. As you look at the crawl at the bottom of the screen, you see all those players. They're all grayed out. Everyone has been picked. 239 players have been picked in the last hour and 45 minutes across 4 tiers by 10 franchises. And I'll do a thanks at the end, but between a Clever Rabbit, Sfaulcon, this web app, and the production crew, this is the smoothest draft day we have ever had. It has moved along at an amazing clip. But we have one more franchise that we're gonna meet, and that is XP Esports. Let's say hello.
It's AAOKY, and then franchise is XP Esports. I can describe my pick strategy in one word: sacrifice. Bro, 100% bro. They got Kiri on their side. A rival round would be very interesting, because if I lose someone there, I'm kind of screwed. I don't have many backups, even though I have like 4 of each, but that's not enough. Not most of all of the franchises that's in this season are very confident in winning. So it's going to be an interesting season, I can't lie. This is going to be strong opponents, strong enemies, if I can put it like that.
All right, and there we have the GM of XP Esports, who is who started off being AAOKY, but it has become AAOKY because no one knows that it's supposed to be AAOKY, representing XP Esports. So there we go. We've picked everybody, and how this all works is that there is a budget. So every franchise can't just pick the most. Every player that signs up gets a CMV, basically MMR, assigned to them, and then every franchise has a budget. So if you pick all the expensive players, you're very quickly outside your budget, and then you can't play. So it has to be balanced across that MMR, which makes the picking even more interesting. So it's not just about all the great players get picked in the first round and a half. It has to be balanced. So there's a lot of strategic thinking that goes into that, because when you field your team, you can't have 3 very high MMR players or CMV players. So that has played an interesting role in the order of picks and where and why some players might have been delayed in getting picked and so on. But so that's kind of how it works. And overall, Werty, you how are you feeling about your team, your potential teammates that have been picked around you? Lots of youngsters.
I'm very keen to see what they have in them, to see if we can get onto an understanding, create some sort of structure, to see if they enjoy playing threes. It'll be a good time. I'm always a good enjoyer of playing with new people. And most of all, I want to win. So they're going to be through their paces.
Excellent. And you make sure you get them through their paces. Now, if you were studious through this whole stream and paying attention, you would have seen that there were 9 videos, franchise videos that we played. There was one franchise, which was Redirect, that we couldn't nail down the interview in time. So we will introduce the Redirect franchise formally and properly between now and the start of league play. So what happens from here? What happens from here is that we move into now preseason. That starts on Monday, and that's where there's a lot of playing. And now there might be more horse trading and picking and transferring, players moving into becoming free agents. So everything between now over the next couple of weeks, starting Monday, will finally settle on the final rosters for league play, which starts on the week of the 9th of September. And that's pretty much what happens from here. So I once again would like to thank our sponsors. Firstly, our prize pool sponsor is Next Up, providing the highest prize pool we've had of any season of RSC, 18,000 Rand. And then, of course, our broadcast sponsor, Genisus Extreme, who have run tonight's broadcast. And I'm just waiting to get back on camera, because as soon as I'm back on camera, I would like to give Desolation Daniel and Christian Duploy a round of applause for the work they've put in making sure the stream happened. It's been smooth as butter. Often there's lots of panic in the background for a good-looking stream. This stream has looked fantastic, and the background, all the work in the background hasn't been panicked at all. It's been smooth and fantastic. And then, of course, all the people I've mentioned at the beginning of the stream who are involved, community people who do this for the love and the passion. Sfaulcon, TheBromeo, Creative Ones, Lankai helped on graphic stuff, Alex on the videos, etc. Unguarded Ace on admin, and more. And I think, Werty, this is going to bring it to a close, and I just want to make sure I've covered everything.
That does seem to be like it's looking like curtains. And yeah, thank you for everybody who's been here. It's been great to have everybody here, all the players being picked, the casters, all the guys behind stage that don't get all of the applause that they need. But yeah, it's been a pleasure, and I'm keen to see what the gameplay has for us soon.
And it's gonna be our next streaming is gonna be league play during the streams will run every Thursday night. So that's where the stream games will be. So it'll be Thursday 9, 10, 11, 12th of September will be the next RSC stream. And now I actually wanted to organize a raid. We're going to go and raid somebody. So I don't know. Does anybody know anyone who is live right now that we should go and raid? If you do let us know. Otherwise, I'm going to pick one at random.
Random is always good, if all else fails.
Okay, fine. All right, Evo Gen. Nice Panda is Evo. It's Skara. Okay, we'll do Skara. Fine. So we're going to raid ITZ Skara. All right, fine. So we're going to close it out. Stick around for the end and as we go to the raid. But that is going to be it from me, Greybeard, and Werty. And in the background earlier was Alex, and then Daniel, Desolation, and Duploy. But for now, that's it from us. Peace!
And what a shot from Kirica, taking that off the ceiling, underneath the ball, and straight down the middle.
Oh, there it is! Out of the blue! 2 seconds left on the clock, and the Joker finds something out of nothing!
Now, that pass from Shadow was immaculate, playing it straight down center. Hecky just had to get a touch, and it's all he needed.
Sonic has a chance, it's an open net, he sees it, looking for the shot downfield, goes into corner, Kirica! He gets the goal!
Just in front of the net, Nuke barely dukes it out there and dies on the goal line. But Larson, it finds it through. NaVeDs gonna pick it up.